going on, everybody? Mike Strauss back with another interview. Had a chance to speak with Tywan Claxton. Before we get to that chat, you guys know you can find my work at bjpenn.com, Low Kick, Cage Side Press, of course, the YouTube channel, Mike Strauss, Mike MMA. All the social media is Mike MMA. All right, here's my conversation with Claxton. Enjoy. All right, I want to welcome Tywan Claxton to the show for the first time. You have a fight coming up here, Bellator 221 here in my city, man, in Chicago. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm getting ready to rock.
Yeah, you are. You know, you're a smart cat, man. You taught yourself how to code. I'm sure everybody asks you how you did it. I have to know, though, man, because that seems so complicated. How did you do that?
You know, it was simple. I used YouTube videos, different coding books, different coding platforms, and you use things like Stack Overflow, GitHub. A lot of it is putting in the time to do it. I'm just the type of person that quick background story. So while I was in college, my degree was in healthcare with a concentration in marketing. In order to wrestle, I couldn't change, but I wanted to learn how to code. I went to the head of the software development department and asked him, hey, can you help me build this app? And he pretty much told me that if I didn't switch my major and didn't put in the 4 years of college to learn how to do it, then I would never be able to do it, and I would have to pay a lot of people a shit ton of money to get it done.
Really?
The problem was I couldn't switch my major because of wrestling. It would have put me ineligible, and that's how I was paying for school.
Right.
So basically, I was like, fuck that guy, and I started to learn how to code myself. And, I do it in between fights, in between practices. I'm coding, and it's just time, man. You put the time in, it's like learning anything else, like learning any other language, you can do it.
So that's cool, man. It sounds like, obviously fighting and coding are two totally different things, but what it sounds like, man, is your determination that, you're the same determination that allows you to become a world-class fighter is the same determination that allowed you to learn how to code. Is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that if you put your mind to something, you should be able to do it. And, I approach fighting and coding the same way as an aspect to, like, all right, for instance, say I'm building an app. When you build an app, you have to have a structure behind the app, and then there's substructures behind that, and there's substructures behind that. And there's a million different ways to build an app. There's a million different methods to use. There's a million different platforms to use, et cetera, right? With fighting, it's the same thing. Each practice that you do, you have to have a structure behind it. And inside that practice, the practice needs to be structured. So, for instance, Monday is MMA, Tuesday is boxing, Wednesday is wrestling. And then, all right, so on MMA day, I need to work cage, I need to work ground. From the ground will be a substructure of like, all right, now I need to work my passes, I need to work my bottom on the ground, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Wrestling, the same thing. Wrestling, I need to work offense, I need to work defense. There's structures inside of structures. And I guess that I'm a structured type of person because, it kind of all flows together for me in the same thing. You got to be a student with coding, and you got to be a student with fighting. And I think my determination to learn is what ties them both together, and it's what makes me able to kind of do both, I suppose.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Are you working on any kind of app right now?
Yeah, so funny story. I'm now working with this company called Koji, and they're in beta phase right now, and this company's just raised $6 million.
Wow.
And I actually just tweeted out a Air Claxton Candy Crush game, and pretty much it's a game like Candy Crush, but but the images are just different, and that's all. And if you check my Instagram story, tclax149, or the Twitter, you'll be able to click it and play the game yourself. I actually slid it in your DMs, but click and play the game. And just for the record, whoever has the high score post-fight, I will be giving them my fight shorts and my fight gloves. So good luck with that, because I'm playing also. I kind of like having my memorabilia. But Yeah, man, it's a great company, and I'm starting to have plenty of doors open in the tech world, thanks to my managers at Janus Sports, and it's all starting to kind of tie together a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, man. Obviously, you know what you're doing. Obviously, it sounds like you really are passionate about it. So, yeah, absolutely. That's so cool that you can do both, that you can balance both, too. You're originally from Ohio. So, are you going to have a lot of people here in Chicago?
Yeah, I am. My mother's side of the family is from Chicago.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So I have a lot of family there from Chicago, and then I have old wrestling coaches coming up to watch this fight. I have old college teammates that I wrestled with at OU that are from Chicago. We did a lot of recruiting from the Chicago area at Ohio University. So a lot of old teammates are coming. A couple of girls that play soccer at OU that are from Chicago are coming. Family members, friends. It's only a 5.5 hour drive. You don't get any much closer than that. So I've got a big support system coming out to Chicago, and I think it'll be a good time and a great showing. I feel like as a fighter, I am more prepared than I have been for any other fight. I also feel like that if I fought, the Air Claxton that fought in December, I'd beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And I think that's saying a lot. I really do. I think that's saying a lot because I've grown as a fighter because I haven't taken any time off. Since the December fight, my buddy Walter Gahaza came down to train with me to get ready for his last fight. He also fights in Bellator. He was fighting a wrestler, and so he came down. So I basically went from my camp to his camp, and then I went back into my camp. So there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of peaks and valleys, but I'm telling you, man, I'm sharp and I'm ready to bang. I'm ready to go out there and be tactical and be technical and just grind this guy out and get him out of there before that 15 minutes is up.
Oh, I'm excited, man. I mean, that's definitely. I mean, you're a highlight, so that's one of the fights I think everybody's got circled to keep an eye out for. The whole card is really good. Of course, it's headlined by Michael Chandler and one of the Pitbull brothers there. So that's going to be a barn burner, I'm sure. But I wanted to get your opinion on this before I let you go, man. I know you're not looking past Bennett, but this Featherweight Grand Prix, right? That's pretty intriguing. So you guys got some killers, man. I mean, just some of the names in Bellator's featherweight division. It's insane, man. You're gonna be a part of that, right?
I should be a part of that. If it's up to me, I'm a part of it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
They haven't officially offered you anything or talked to you about it yet? Probably too soon.
Yeah, they haven't officially offered it. I've talked about it. We've talked about it. We've had a couple conversations. But if there's a featherweight, you can't have a featherweight tournament without Air Claxton. And let's put it that way. Because look at it this way. I'm the only undefeated prospect in the featherweight division. I'm the only prospect that threw a flying knee and got on ESPN. I'm the only prospect that continues to finish people. And I'm the only I'm not going to say I'm the only prospect, but I don't have a problem fighting anybody. So, there's no style that's a bad matchup for me. I don't need to be protected. I'm not a striker who they have to protect from a wrestler. I'm not a one-dimensional wrestler that you have to protect from a striker. I'm a complete fighter. So there's no reason why I won't be in that tournament. You can bank on me being in that tournament. Unofficially, officially, you can bank on me being in that tournament.
For sure. And realistically, if you look, I mean, if it's going to be a 16-man tournament, they cannot. I mean, you're definitely a top 16, so you have to be in there,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna handle business this fight, and then I'll get on the mic and I'll start screaming about this tournament.
Well, I'll be there, man. I can't wait. Like I said, that's the one I got circled. You always close the show with a highlight. I think just one time, right? Was it the Lencioni fight that went to a decision?
That was the only fight, and that was so far, that's the biggest regret of my of my MMA career is letting that fight go the distance.
Really? That was still. I was actually at that fight. I covered that fight. I thought it was a great performance because at that time Lencioni kind of had a lot of buzz about him, and you shut him down. You no part of it. You beat the shit out of him for 15 minutes.
So that's what you saw in the fight.
Yeah, right.
How I see the fight, and I don't know if it's the coder in me, but one, I didn't pass his guard. There were times where I kind of let him dictate the pace. Even though I dominated with good counters, he should have never been able to dictate the pace. I should have, like I said, I stayed in his guard a little bit too much. I didn't posture up. I could have went for the kill a couple more times. There were times where I was out of position with some striking techniques, and there was times where I should have attacked a lot more. You know, I'm not in there to fight a full 15 minutes, and in my mind, I need to win and I need to dominate in every single position. Anything less than that is not acceptable. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just the way I am. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's just unacceptable. Anything less than a dominant performance is, like, I feel like I should go into a fight and I shouldn't get touched. Like, I should be better than you in every single position and I shouldn't be touched. And I don't know if that sounds arrogant or if that sounds cocky, but that's what drives me to train all year round. That's what drives me to find the best guys in each different discipline that I have access to and bring them over to me and try to get to a point where I can beat them at their own game, whether they're boxers or kickboxers or jiu-jitsu practitioners. That's perfection is what drives me, and I think that, you know, it's my biggest weapon, but it's also one of my enemies.
I feel you, and you know, that's what separates guys like you, right, from the rest of the pack. Though, you know, you have that championship mentality where even if I do look great to everybody else, no, man, that was just average. That's special though, because not everybody's like that, and I really believe that that's what separates guys like you, champions, from the rest of the pack. You know? Yeah,
absolutely. You know, after my coach, he's always like, "Stop being so hard on yourself."
Yeah, we oftentimes, man, we're our biggest critics, right?
Absolutely. I think you got to be. I think you have to be, because if you're not honest with yourself, how can you expect anybody else to be honest with you? And how can you expect for yourself to take any type of criticism if you can't be honest with yourself?
For sure. Yeah. No, that's 100% accurate. Well, I want to thank you for your time, man. I know that you're busy. I know that you have a bunch of media to do today. Take some time here. Shout out your teammates, coaches, sponsors, whatever you'd like. The floor is yours.
Real quick, want to shout out Koji, tech partner, sponsor. I want to shout out my striking coach, Steve Tracek, my jiu-jitsu coach, Shannon White, my main training partner, Josh Rawkt and Roller, and of course, I want to shout out my managers at Janet Sport, Matt and Kyle. You guys are awesome. And that's about it. Oh, I got to shout out my mom, too. I love my mom, so shout out to my mom. But that's about it. Those are all the people that I guess I need to shout out.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Bellator 221, May 11th here in Chicago. The whole week is going to be exciting, man. I'm sure we'll bump into each other. We'll talk some MMA. It'll be a good time.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon.
Take care, man.
Have a good one.